So I thought I'd do another vlog because they're just easier than doing a blog because I don't have to write it and stuff. So because my hair's a mess. So yeah, so it has been 4 months since Finlay died, and on Tuesday it was 18 weeks since he was born. I can't believe how fast and how slow time's gone. It's amazing. I have noticed this last couple of weeks that I am starting to see more of like who I used to be coming back, which is really good because like I'll never be the same person again, I don't think. Like, after a loss like what we've gone through, I don't think I'll ever recover fully from that and be back to that carefree person. I'll always have this heavy heart and I'll always carry Finlay wherever I go. But I do feel like I'm like a little bit like returning to like me, do you know? And I've got like a little bit of sense of humour back, and I feel like I can start to have conversations about things that aren't Finlay, and I can hear people's problems and I don't mind. And even if I think they're silly, I don't mind. I'll speak about them and take them on board and try and give advice and stuff. So I find that like to be good, and I'm feeling really quite upbeat and happy and stuff, which I guess is like difficult to accept as well, which is weird because you don't think that you deserve to be happy and stuff like that. So I met with my boss this week as well about going back to work. So I don't have to go back to work until like August if I don't want to. And the day after Finlay died, I was sitting in the hospital and I said to my mum, I said, I'm not going back to work. And I really couldn't imagine myself ever going back to work. I left work at 27 weeks pregnant. I went on sick and then I went on maternity leave the day that Finlay died. Like, such a coincidence. Like, it's amazing how I managed to time that. You know, I still think I must have known something deep down. So I had quite a hard time at work. I had an issue with a colleague that caused me an awful lot of stress, and I just decided that my baby was more important than my job. So I went off. So it's been a long time since I've been at work. I've been off since April, the end of April. So yeah, I don't really want to stay off for any longer than I really have to, but I want to stay off with enough time to like deal with what's happened. But I'm starting to feel like I need to get back into a bit of normality in life, and normality in life involves work. So there's a few things I've got to deal with work. That person that caused me stress and is no longer my manager, so that's great, you know. So that makes me feel a lot more comfortable back, and I feel like my manager who now, she's like, she used to be higher up. She is still higher up. There's a anyway. You don't need to know the ins and outs of it. She is gonna be as supportive as ever. I think she's gonna help me do this. So I'm like excited about it and nervous about it, and I realise that my office is right next door to the maternity in Aberdeen, so that is going to be a challenge by itself. And the big office overlooks the room where Finlay was born, so that's going to be a challenge as well. But I don't need to go into the big office. I can go back to my own office and stuff, so that's really, really good. And I don't have to think about looking into that room every day, because I used to. Before I had my other office, I used to sit and I used to look into that room. And I never knew what it was for until Finlay was born, and now I know that that's the lost room. So yeah, so it's going to be difficult. Last time I was in there was emptying out my drawers for going on maternity leave, so I guess I will be going back to unempty them. So I'm going to do some kit days in January and then see where I go from there, and hopefully with the support of my manager and OHS I'll be able to return to work. It'll probably be a really slow phased return, and I think I'll just have to wait and see how it feels. But before my kit days, I think I'll have to just one day just go to work. I think I'll just go in and say hi to everybody. I think it'll have to just be one of those things that I do, because I think if I plan it, I'll find it really difficult. So I am not going to plan it. I'm just going to go with the flow, and I think go in. Now, what is a reason to go in is that, I know I've said before, but we raised like, oh my hair, we raised like 4,500 for in Finlay's honour, which is amazing, like so generous, can't believe it, it's like amazing. So I've got all that money, so I work for the NHS, I know how difficult it is to get funds out for stuff. So instead of giving the money to the ward, but it is, the money's for the ward, but instead of giving it to the ward, we're buying stuff for the ward. So I've just bought a new digital camera for them, and it's like a really fancy one but really simple to use, so that people can record HD videos and stuff on it, take lots of photos of their babies. So we've bought that, and we've bought a new printer for them, a photo printer, and 2 music systems for their late lost rooms, because I really missed not having like music on, because I played music to Finlay, but it was on my phone. I would have liked to been able to play it. So we're buying stuff that we think they could benefit from. So the camera that they had wasn't great, and although we were really lucky that we had our phones, like not everybody has such luxuries as good, as good camera phones and stuff. So I want to just make sure that that's there. So we're doing that. We're also donating 100 Aiken Arms bears. So Aiken Arms is a charity. So this is, Rubislaw asked for this. They're a charity, they make bears, and those bears are then given to mums, families that have lost babies. Anything from early loss to full-term stillbirths to neonatal deaths. So we are donating 100. And the best thing about it is that Finlay, I donate them in Finlay's honour, so like I write out tags and I put them on them, so like when the mum gets them, they'll know they're from Finlay. And I think that might give people a little bit of comfort knowing that there's someone else out there that's been through this, that survived it, and that is donating a bear in their child's honour. So yeah, so we're doing that. And then the other thing we're going to do is donate some. Simba is another charity, and we got a beautiful memory box from Simba, and it's just like the memory box itself is just amazing. And I've added to it, but the girls put a lot of it together in Rubislaw for me. But in there is everything from Finley's scan photos to everything. But it's a really nice box as well. But it's got a lot of stuff in it, like a candle and everything. It's like it's amazing. So I am donating some boxes as well. So that still leaves us with some money, but I think I'm gonna I don't even know what my dog is doing. I think I'm going to keep some of the money and check in with Rubislaw to see how they're getting on, and maybe like 6 months after I've donated the original stuff, because if they need like sort of printer paper and ink and stuff like that, then we're going to supply that, and memory cards as well. Sorry, just 2 minutes, 2 seconds. Oi! Stop it! Good girl. My dogs are fighting. So yeah, so that's what we've done with the money. So just if anyone wanted to know what we've done with the money, that's what we've done so far. It's been kind of like a bit of a journey to get here to donate the stuff. We got the money, it's been sitting for a while. It's just taken a bit of time before we felt ready to go and order the stuff and donate it. So I'm pretty chuffed with that. So yeah, that's good. So I've kind of gone off on one. It's 8 minutes already, but anyway. Stop it! God, children. Excuse me. Oi! Enough! So we got people watching this being like, what is going on? My dogs are arguing with each other. They're bad children. So I was writing my blog that I was writing was about triggers. So I read this blog by another mummy, Angel Mummy, and she wrote about being her own trigger, and I kind of agreed with what she wrote. I spent an awful lot of time avoiding triggers, and I've written before and spoken before about what triggers, and you never know what's going to trigger, what's going to make you feel a certain way, and you hide from stuff. So like I hide from my friends' kids, I don't put myself in difficult situations where I'm surrounded by a lot of people, and that's still how I cope with it. And as time goes on, I'm not so scared of how I will react, but it's all about how I will react and how it will make me feel. But I think I don't know if I'm a trigger. And I agree with what she said in her blog, and it hit home. But when I thought about it a bit more, I think I'm not a trigger. I think that I carry Finlay. Like, I'll always carry Finlay with me. So, of course, I'll always remember everything about him. So, like, I look at my tummy and I think that Finlay used to be in there. And I'll stand in the shower and I'll have my hands on my tummy and I'll think that he was there. And it's a bit of a reminder because it's easier to, this sounds horrible, it's easier to forget. It's easier to forget the fact that you were pregnant. It's easier to forget the fact that you ever went through that. And now this is just life as it is. But when you do stop to remember the other times, then that's when you trigger memories, and those memories can be quite painful. So, but I don't want to give up those memories. That's my son, and I don't ever want to forget him. So I guess I will carry him with me. So I don't think I'm so much of a trigger, but more that he's part of me. And because of that, things that I do, say, how I look, how I act, how I react to things will trigger things because he's always with me, and that'll always be a memory. And I want that. I don't want to lose that. So I just learn how to cope with that, if that makes sense. So today I dropped James off at the airport. He's away on his rotation, so that's him started his rotation, and it's amazing. I'm like proper stoked because I've never, stoked is not a word I normally use, by the way. Proper excited because I've never, ever since I've known him, like James worked in an office job when we first got together, and then about 6 months after we got together, he went offshore, and we've been together for 7 years in January. So like it's a long time of having a partner that isn't always home, and he's always been ad hoc. So I've always never known when he's going to be here or when he's going to be away, which also makes it very, very difficult for trying to start a family. Anyone else that's ever tried to start a family will know this. So I've just always kind of just lived with it. But his new job's now 3 weeks on, 3 weeks off, so it's really good. And to top it off is he's gone away a week early, so he'll be back on the 12th of December at the latest. So like I know this, you know, it's great. And then he's not back at work again until the 9th of January. So we've got Christmas and New Year together. It's great. When I think about Christmas, I sometimes get upset. Sometimes I'm excited for it. It's a weird feeling. I'm not doing any Christmas presents or shopping or cards or anything this year. The only thing I'm going to do is cards to family and from Finlay and stuff like that, so that there's that memories. And not make any plans for Christmas because I don't want to feel pressured into anything, and I just want to have like Christmas with James. And you know what, if I feel like going and spending time with our families, then we can. If we don't, then we don't have to. But it's just going to be great having him here. It's great to know he's going to be be home. I might start to struggle as the weeks go past, but I'm going to try and fill my time. And in the grand scheme of things, 3 weeks is probably not as long as what I think it's going to feel, but it will be the longest we've been apart since Finlay died, because since he's been in Norway, he's been home every weekend. So yeah, so I'm excited for that as well. I've got to show you my dog. Hey, Robbie. He loves cuddles. So yeah, so I've got a few little goals and stuff I've set myself. I really want to try and shift some baby weight now. Not because I don't like the way I look. I'm perfectly happy with how I look. I don't care about looking, if someone says to me, like, you look fat or whatever, I don't care. But I want to be healthy for when we conceive our next baby, and being overweight's not good. And I'll always be overweight, but like I've got like 2 stone to lose, so I want to try and lose some of that. And I've been back running, so I'm just going to continue with that. I'm enjoying my cycling and stuff, but it's not particularly weather for it just now. So once it is, I'll be out on my bike as well, but just now it's a bit windy and wet, so it's quicker just to go for a half an hour run. But I'm enjoying being back running. I was really slim. Like, I was really big. I lost a lot of weight because I got married, I want to look good, I want to have family. And I'm sure I've spoken about it before. It's like I lost 7.5 stone. And I've probably put on about 3.5 stone, I would think, during my pregnancy. So I've got 2 stone to lose to get down to my booking weight, and then maybe another 1.5 stone to get me back to my pre-pregnancy weight. But I don't think I'm ever going to get back to there, because it was so difficult and it was so hard to keep that weight off. I ran all the time, and as soon as I stopped running, I put weight on. And like, I'm not like, it's just so difficult. And you know what? Life's too short now. It's too short to be worrying about being fat. And I did it because I wanted to look good and I wanted to be healthy, but I can be healthy so without like killing myself. So that's what I'm going to do. So yeah, all in all, things are good. I've got some stuff to focus on and to look forward to this next week. And I'm hoping that I'm feeling a bit stronger and I'm seeing a little bit of myself coming back. But it just takes time and it'll never go away. As long as I can speak about Finlay and my journey, our journey, and people aren't scared to speak to me about Finlay, then that's great. You know, like I met a friend for lunch today and I was a bit worried, like, what do I speak about? Do you know, like, do I speak about Finlay? Do I speak about like what's happening in our lives? And then I thought, I'm a bit worried that I don't know what to speak about. Will we have anything to speak about? But no, we did. We sat for like 2 hours, and it was really, really nice to see her. And we spoke about lots of different stuff, so it was really, really good. So, yeah. So I feel like we're doing well. We're strong, and I'm kind of glad as we're approaching Christmas, and the end of this year. And this year was supposed to be the best year of our life, and it has turned out to be one of the worst, but also one of the best, because we became parents and we've got Finlay. And but the worst part is that he died, but he lived. Do you know, he existed. He lived inside me for 9 months, and he existed in our world. And yes, he wasn't born breathing. He never got to take his first breath, but like, he made us parents, and that makes this year amazing, but it also makes it very sad. So I am glad to be coming out of 2018 and going into 2019, and I'm not scared of the future. And that's what I did today as well, is I wrote down all my fears into my journal, and I took the page, ripped it out and tore it up. So this is my journal's not here. I got this little, I was going to show you my journal, it's not here. I got a journal that, from my grief book, and it's amazing what I'm scared of. And you know, my biggest fear is not having any more family. That is my biggest fear, because that was my hopes and dreams, and I am scared that I won't get that. And I don't think that's wrong to be scared of that, but I don't know why I've got this fear, because there's no reason for it. My hopes and dreams exist. I have the ability to carry a baby to full term, and when I just hope that when the time is right, that Finlay sends me his brother or sister. And I don't think this will ever happen to us again. I've got a great belief it won't ever happen to us again. And I do also believe that what's for me won't go by me. And that is not a things happen for a reason. I don't always believe that. I want to believe that, but I struggle to understand why Finlay is not with us anymore. Like, what reason is there to take a child from this earth? But maybe in a few years' time I'll understand better. But I do believe that what's for you won't pass you by, and that if you are on this journey, you just carry on along the road. So hopefully this road gets brighter and less bumpier. And I do feel that I have a future now. I feel like there's, not that I didn't think I would live, but I didn't think I would live. Do you know, like, it's hard to explain. So I never once thought that I wouldn't survive this journey. But I wasn't sure if the me would be able to survive it. And I feel now that I'm starting to be able to live again, enjoy things a little bit more, think about the future, think about holidays, think about exercise, think about fitness, think about getting back to me, but not the old me. So yeah, I hope that makes sense to people. I hope that this is not too long vlog. Sorry, it's 20 minutes, so I hope you grabbed a coffee and sat down. And everyone take care, and I'll catch you soon. Bye.